Hey friends, how have you been? It's been, I think, 3-4 days. Not I'm counting, but maybe I am. Yeah, I've just been in this really fucking whirlwind of the last 4 days. Just really hectic. Where do I start? I think it started when the full moon erupted. Probably, what day is it today? Monday. And I think Wednesday last week, full moon energies. I don't know if it was just that or it was also, I got my period. Sorry boys, but the reality is we do actually get affected by this pretty much every month unless you take one of those things that totally ignores it. And I think it just fucking catapulted me into this really heavy space. And ironically, I was going to do this video on unconditional love prior to that because I don't know why, I just had this thought about it. Anyway, so the last 4 days, humbly I've been brought to my knees almost in that really state of confusion and ego and hanging on, and I don't even know, it was just not satisfied and wanting more and being in nothing where I currently am. It's challenging, because usually we have life distractions. Either we have a job that we don't like or a job that we do love and we devote a lot of hours to it, or we're doing things that we love because it fills us up. All these things, and sometimes those spaces, for whatever reason, dissipate because, there needs to be some lull if you so choose. I'm devoted to the path of being whole and awakening and honouring myself and walking the path of divinity as much as I can. So, I get called to be in these spaces at times when new things have to arise and stuff has to settle. And I've just been on this epic venture with having a business and then selling it and allowing that to settle and then coming into something new and really allowing the space to settle into this new dimension, new transformation, whatever you want to call it, of nothing, really, essentially what it is. And I've been really inspired over the last couple of months just because I've flicked a switch and awakening to the all new possibilities of what I want to create and who I want to be in totality. And I think, it goes to show that, we are human. These experiences of life give us an opportunity to reflect about what is the universe trying to say to us right now? What is the universe saying to me right now? And it's also perfect, right? I was going to talk about unconditional love, and then this morning I woke up and I was still in quite a bit of a funk, and I was just like, fuck, what's going on? And I meditated, and it just reminded me of the importance that if all else fails, you always come back to the unconditional love. In fact, it should always be the forefront of all we do. And what does that look like when you are moving into a space of unconditional love? Well, as things arise in your head, you allow it to breathe in, you allow it to sit in your heart, and then you breathe it out. And as you find things arise and you practice more of this, things start to find more peace. You start to feel a little bit more whole. You start to feel a little bit more, it's okay. Everything is okay. And there's no need to try and control anything. There's no need to seek desire and fulfill and create new spaces. That everything is bloody fucking perfect, and going back to that simplicity of life. You know, I've tapped into more of that love state, that heart coherence, as someone would say. And the smallest things become beautiful again. That it's not about the grandeur of having all these amazing things and achieving all these amazing goals, that the simplicity of life is actually right here, right now, and there's so much gold in it, but we forget about it because, and I forget about it, you know, because we get on this momentum and, you know, of wanting more and being more and elevating ourselves even higher. And which are all attachments, you know, these are all attachments really at the end of the day. You know, if you've got kids, you know, they're the beautiful gift that they bring, is that they enjoy the most simplistic things in life. We've made it more complicated for them by gifting them with lots of add-ons that, you know, such as toys and electronics and stuff like that, that we feel would be beneficial to them because we want to spoil them. But ultimately the kids' innocence is the gift that they give us. They remind us of this. And to get back to that space, for me, obviously having such, you know, emotions, and be it energy from the moon or be it energy from my hormones, you know, and going into that ego space of not being satisfied, I've been brought back to the purity of being connected with myself first and foremost, and connected to earth, connected to this world that we get an opportunity to live in, the air we get to breathe, the trees and flowers we get to enjoy, and the energy they give us. Like it sounds very, you know, fucking fluffy, but the truth of it is that these are gifts for us. They enable us to stay grounded. They enable us to see the beauty in the most simplistic things, the animals, and how they just honor the earth and its flow, and how it just goes in these cycles, and they adapt and they adjust, and they continue to live in peace and harmony with the cycles of life. And when we start to resist those cycles of life, what happens is we get caught up in our own stuff, and our own illusion, and our ego of what it should look like and how it should be, and we forget about the flow of life. And a constant reminder of the beauty of that is coming back to our heart, because it is that constant rhythm of our breath. It is that constant reminder that we are in flow with life through the circular breathing of our breath. It comes in and it comes into our heart, and we dissipate any feelings or any thoughts that come through that may take us out of alignment, and we breathe it out. And you find more peace in that every day. And I love the fact that I get to have these experiences, because if I don't, you know, in the past, obviously this wouldn't have been my perspective. You know, it would have been like, oh, fuck, you know, and don't get me wrong, for the last 4 days, I was judging the fuck out of myself. Why am I here? I don't want to feel like this, blah, blah, blah. You know, still caught up in the desire of not wanting, or wanting something different, or wanting something more, rather than just letting go and surrendering into the heart, because the heart has its own intelligence. It's far greater than the mind. What we've done as society is empowered our mind to be the cohort of our existence, but the heart has the will. The ego has the intellect to make it happen. But I mean, even when you say that, the heart has the intuition, which just overrides any intellect. It's the ability to tap into that and understand yourself more and be connected with yourself more. And ultimately, when we start connecting with ourselves more from our heart space, you know, and don't get me wrong, if you've got kids, or you're working in a job that you don't like, or you want a life that is different, you know, those other videos that I've done where, you know, there is a step-by-step process where you start to acknowledge yourself are still valid. You know, these are still important stages. This is all a process. Everything is a process. Us going up, us going down, us flatlining. These are all processes, and ultimately they will become less extreme the more we find and surrender to the flow of life, to surrender to, you know, the process of awakening to our potential, to our love, to awakening to our love. Awakening to our love of our own self is ultimately why we are here, why we are in existence. Abundance, houses, doing your purpose, yes, these are all super critical factors with the joy that we experience in this material world, but ultimately our love for ourselves is the ultimate factor in finding peace and contentment in no matter what is happening. And if you need a reminder today that your love is greater than anything in the world, then I am reminding you that it is accessible to you right now by breathing into your heart and allowing that to breathe out into your space and eliminate anything that's causing you contraction so that you can feel freedom, so you can feel peace. And you just practice that until you can smile again at the world, and smile at the small things, and smile at the trees, and smile at the fucking animals you see, and be present in that moment. You know, so much gold. If you like and hear, like what you hear, like what you see on this channel, love, share, whatever may fuels your desire. I would love you to be a part of it. Until then, thank you for tuning in.